Hello. Today in this video, we're going to talk about strings and standard output. Why strings? String is something special, and contrary to what we might think, strings are reference-based objects. They are not primitive data types in Java. They're a special class. String is a class, and string is a class in Java API with a lot of helper functions and a lot of interesting mechanisms to manipulate strings and do work with strings using special methods. They're also special because you'll use in your programming career strings a lot. For a lot of different kind of manipulation and a lot of problems, you'll need to work with strings. So let's start with what a string is. So the way you define a string, you say the data type is string, which is the class name. Say my name, I'm going to write my name. Name equals summing. So here I have defined an instance of string called name, which has this value, sequence of characters called summing. So that's it. And there are a lot of other things you can use. You can use you can do concatenation of string. I can define string, something called space, which just contains a space, and I can have a string called last name, and I can have I have my last name. Now you can do concatenation in string, basically attach these strings together, and the way you would do is that you can I'll create a new string, full name equals name plus space plus, instead of concatenating the variable, I can put the literal value. So full after this statement executes, full name will contain the following: space, in the Java system. So by using the plus operator, you can concatenate string, and you can have a string, a literal value, or if you have something else, say any other object you're trying to concatenate with it, then it will be converted to a string. So say I have string name and rectangle b equal new rectangle. If I do string full name equals name plus b, what do you think will happen here? Name is of type string and b is of type rectangle. What will happen is that you will not get a compiler syntax error because this is absolutely allowed. Internally, what Java will do is it will call name plus b dot to string. Every method, every class in Java has a method called toString by default. We'll learn about it in more detail later on, but for now it will has this method. So when I try to concatenate these two, I will essentially it will essentially call the toString method on that object and then create a new string. And if the programmer of this class has not implemented a toString method, Java has a built-in implementation which might not do what you want, but it has something. And that's what you will see over here. So that's for strings. Now we're going to talk about standard out. How do I output something to the screen? You already might have seen we talked about system dot out dot println ABC. This is the command to output something to this screen. So when this statement executes, it will output ABC. I can also have the same statement, and I can system dot out dot println name. Remember, earlier on we defined name here to be Somic, and this is an instance of type string, and I can directly pass it to the println method, and it's going to, when we execute this, it's going to output Somic on the console. There is another trivial printing method for standard out. It's called system dot out dot print. The difference between the print line and the print method is that when you do print line, there's a print line automatically appends /n or new line at the end of the statement. Print does not. Let's take an example. So I have system dot out dot print XYZ. In this case, if these two statements execute one after the other, on the screen you will see ABC XYZ. Now let's convert them to the print line method. In this case, and execute these two statements again, and we're going to see the following on the screen: ABC XYZ. Because it's a print line, it has a new line character over here, so the next thing that prints is going to print on the next line. So that's the basics of Java standard output. It's very common practice to build strings in Java, like I was doing over here, name plus another string plus a literal value or an integer value and such. And lastly, you should check out string Java API. You can Google it. And you can inspect all the other helper functionalities that the string API exposes, because I guarantee you it's going to be very helpful when you try to do some advanced assignments. Thank you.